first let's get this corrected. That is, we can see that the mesh, that is the tabletop, is flipped. Okay, just check the normals. You see the normals are a little flipped. Okay, they are coming from below. Okay. So what I'll be doing is moving into this space and taking this in the positive direction. Just move it like this in the positive direction. And that way you will see that it's something like this. And the second extrude tool, I'll just be moving it outside. So that will correct it, right? Alright, seems okay. Hopefully everything is working great. If you take a look at the length changes. If you take a look at its radius of the circle, you can increase or decrease the radius, and of course the divisions can be changed. All right, so now let's actually do one more thing in this case, is that probably I want the legs to be tapered. Okay, so now this is a good time to start with the attributes. Okay, now what are attributes? Attributes in Houdini are different from that of Maya. Maya attributes basically just means that they are just the parameters. Okay, like say you have a sphere, and the sphere have is, if you jump into control A and you go to and look at its attribute on the right hand side, whatever, even transform, rotations are all at its attributes. Okay, that's not the case here in Houdini. Houdini, the attributes are something which basically are already located on its vertices. Okay, so what I mean to say is, if there are attributes, there are number of attributes. Okay, which are available in Houdini already, and we just need to initialize those. Okay, say for example, if you take a look at any of these nodes, okay, and click here and go to the info. Okay, what are attributes right now we see which are present on this particular circle is one point attribute. Okay, that is the, if you click on it, you will see that there is a point position. Okay, so currently this is an attribute on it. Okay, so let me close it. If you take a look at this, you will see the same. Okay, but then I can add an attribute called as, say, let's say for example, if I click on color, okay, and just add this here. Okay, now if you take a look at the node positioned below it, that you have added one more attribute to it. Okay, that is CD. So you could initialize the attributes that way. Okay, I could also initialize it in this way, guys. Okay, not now, I've just taken a node in here which is called as color. Okay, but I could delete it and maybe use a attribute wrangler, say for example. Okay, and initialize any attribute from here too by just typing it at cd, sorry, and you can just say is equal to whatever value you want to put in. Okay, I'll just put in 0 right now. Okay, okay, and you will see the color becomes black for it, but it has initialized the attribute over here. You can see that this is CD. So in that way I can initialize any attribute. If I initialize, say, attribute called as uh, the scale. Okay, you will see that you have an attribute called as p scale. Okay, so in that way I can initialize any attribute which are available, and they are kind of already present there in the points, vertices. They are already there. It's just a matter of initializing them. Okay, so just so that we have started with the attribute, I'll just save this file. In fact, save this file, and I'll now that we have shown you, I just initialize an attribute called as pscale. Let me show you what pscale attribute does. Okay, so I'll just say new, just create a grid, just so that to make this make you understand this more better. Okay, I will use a sphere. Okay. I will also use a node which is called as copy to points point. Okay, and it's over here, and then I have copied the spheres to all these points. Okay, now I want to control the scale of the sphere, guys. Okay, so if I need to control the scale of the sphere, I won't be actually controlling it uh, in the line anywhere here. Okay, I will be controlling it from the grid point of view. Okay, why is that? Because as I told you, whatever attributes which we will be initializing will already be lying on the vertices of the grid. Okay, so that's where we'll be controlling the scale of this sphere. Okay, and p scale is basically an attribute which will allow me to scale it randomly, okay, or the way I want it to be. I want it to be scaled. Okay, so in this case what I will be doing is I won't be adding it directly on the sphere, rather I will be adding it on the points of the grid, and those points will in turn be controlling whatever I need to do with the spheres. Okay, so that's the whole idea. So let's start by putting using an attribute triangle. Okay, so where is it here, find it. Yeah, right. Okay, just put in, insert it in between the grid. Okay, and you started with p scale, so you let's use p scale. P scale is equal to I'm going to use a function now this time. So function which is random. And what do you want? You want it to be scaled based on its point numbers. Okay, now the point numbers are what? Point numbers are these. So if I move into on the grid, I'll take a look at these are my point numbers. Okay, so I want these point numbers to vary randomly. Okay, which is, so you scale the spheres randomly based on its point numbers. Okay, that's what so pt num, so at pt num, in fact. Okay, point numbers. Okay, and close it by using. Okay, now let's check what happens. Let's turn this off and you will see they have been scaled based on the point numbers. Am I right, guys? Now I could do those. I could do some changes over here if I want some changes to be done, is by using something called a sort. Sort is a node which will allow me to uh, uh, work on the points. Okay, so for example, if I change the points to random seed, you will see the point numbers changes. Okay, let me go back to the sort over here, turn this on, and if I select the sort and kind of move this, you see the numbers changing. This is actually basically just replacing the numbers over here. Okay, that's what it's doing. And when I go back, when I do so, when I change it from here, you could see the numbers being replaced, and uh, while the number gets replaced, the spheres also get replaced. Okay, so hopefully this small example is understood. Okay, so we have used two attributes here, guys, that is at p scale, okay, which defines the scaling for this particular uh, uh, in fact scaling which a scale attribute which is present on the points. Okay, and we have used point number. Point number is the number over here which we are scaling randomly. Okay, and we get this result. All right, so let me go back to my example now, guys. Okay, so let me go back to the example of us, where this time what I want to have or to happen is that I want this to be uh, let's say scaled up, or I want to adjust the size of this, okay, based on a ramp, let's say. Okay, based on a ramp, so I want a variation in these legs. So what am I going to do is I'm going to use an attribute wrangler itself, initialize some attributes with the help of it. Okay, and kind of change the shape of the leg over here. Okay, so of course add attribute wrangler. Okay, just inserted it between the transforms and the polyvia. Okay, I'll in fact guys, I'll be also working with one more attribute here which is called as curve u. Okay, now curve u is an attribute which is basically defines the uh, curve's length. Okay, which identifies the curve's length. So if I and how do I initialize it? Because if you go and look into the info now, you don't have any curve u attribute. Okay, I will be using something called as resample. Now probably, so let's add a resample on it, and by adding resample in the uh, parameters over here, I can go to the curve u attributes, guys, and I can initialize it from here. But we'll take a look now. If I move into transform and look at it, info node below, I have that curve u attribute present on the curve. All right. So now let's see what we can do with that curve attribute. Okay. So what am I going to do is basically, let's turn this on. I see the leg, the table leg as it is right now. Okay. And go to the attribute wrangler and use p scale attribute to scale the shape of this along its cross section. It can be anything, okay, based on the ramp which I will have over here. Okay, so let's do that. So I'll be using at p scale, is equal to, and going to use another function which is called as chramp. Just like how we used random, so similarly chramp is also a function which is asking me for uh, the string over here. Okay, so the string will be the name, basically the name of the ramp what you will be creating. Okay, and let's give it any name, and being a string it should always be denoted between these um, columns. Okay, here. Okay, so I will give it any name, doesn't matter. I'll give it a name called as shape. Okay, and then the argument will be another argument will be the shape first. Another argument will be the length of it. Okay, that is the curve u which we have initialized. Okay, so that's at curve u. Okay, and that's it, guys. Okay, I'll just click on here, same column. All right, and I want the ch ramp to be seen. Okay, because ch ramp is something which we can use to manipulate the shape of this, and I don't have it anyway right now. Now chramp will do what when I just create a parameter for this, is going to give me this chramp. Okay, guys, but as such if I try to work with this, nothing is happening. Okay, now the reason behind this is if you take a look at the polywire, basically now it's being controlled by this width, right, the wire radius. Okay, and all the effort of mine which we have done over here in ramp is not being sourced as yet. Okay, so this attribute, okay, which I have created, I will control C copy it and basically ask it to be delivered over here. Okay, so control V, enter, and immediately you will see the effect of it, because now it's actually sourcing this p scale, okay, onto what the radius of the polywire. Okay, that's what it's doing, but it's too high right now. Okay, so if I go back to the attribute wrangler, I can control it, right, guys? So here if I drag it, I can control it. Okay, I could control this region. Okay, maybe I can use a bigger view so I have an idea. Okay, if I can, if I create these, let's say, more points in here, I can basically have the shape being controlled by these points. Okay. So yeah, so that will be helpful. Okay, to give the legs of this table any kind of shape that we want. Okay, so probably I will can go here mm, in the polywire. Okay, and then kind of add more divisions to this, which might be, which can be a little circular. All right, and maybe go to the circle and then decrease the divisions, probably one that many divisions. Yeah, so my asset is ready in this case. Okay, I could create a digital asset out of this, HDA out of this. All right, guys, so the point here was to explain the attributes in a simple way. Okay, and we have a lot more attributes which we can control in Houdini, and we can use them. All right, guys, so thanks for watching. and please don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, bye bye, thanks.